bot lane and looking for invades. And I don't like it as much though for the later team fights. I think I would have preferred something that has a bit more setup, especially like pairing alongside the Rumble. So I actually thought they might try and go for the vibe, but not going to be the case this time around.
A Fury rounding out the draft. This is not where I was expecting. Had gone back to base.
But
so
Kalist hasn't reset, so G2 basically saying, hey, we can fight this because Caitlyn has more items.
Yeah, but Hans can't really get into the fight at all. He's separated from the rest of the team. I think G2 realized that. The Drake secured by KC. They'll strike first in this best of...
They are also comfortable in this spot, though. Like, it's not exactly like G2 are the team that has to get ahead. They regularly get ahead early, but they're pretty good in the mid to late game as well. So I think it's kind of going to be a slow one to see how these big objective fights then start to play out.
I was going to ask if like either of the teams prefers this, or you think either of the teams have a scaling advantage or a team fight advantage, or if looking at the drafts things seem relatively evenly matched.
Yeah, I do think
that. I don't think G2 really care that. Oh, hang on, Arrow.
Arrow down, beat drop, Encore as well. LeBron pretty tanky for the moment. He gets a magical journey, but it's not far enough to take him out of harm's way. KC with first blood, now Hansama under the play around the Drake.
It's too difficult to contest, I think. They're instead focused on pushing out that bot wave, get plates for caps, and just accept that in these early trades, they're not strong enough. And I think it's wise.
Tempered Fate and to pick could be huge, but the round war's been used boss.
Yahoo, Noxious Blast for the movement speed, then puts the miasma down, turns and faces them. A Petrifying Gaze and China Crystal out to follow up, only hits onto Skewmon. Yahoo down to a 3rd HP. There's the pillow. Skewmon has the flash, but Yike flashes for the chase and brings home the kill. Caps and LeBron now falls
in a very difficult spot, and when he's flashless, that becomes even more threatening when he has to go in. So I do think for KC, putting pressure down when these summoner spells are down is super key.
Yeah, makes sense. And they get Hans Summer's flash because they put the pressure down towards the mid lane. A little bit of deep vision for G2 around the blue buff of KC. Drake up in 15 seconds time. KC now trying to regain control of this mid lane. Yet to see the top laners too involved. As Kana is here, Tempered Fate's going to go down a trap to follow up, but Skewmon dives forward. Here's the hero's entrance, and there's the CC chain onto Kalist. KC overstepped. Kana trying to burn through the dogs, but he can't do it. Miasma short of clipping Broken Blade, who dashes away. A magical journey from the Prob. And in what is essentially a 4v5 in KC's favor, G2 find a kill.
That cosmic binding from LeBron was insane. It ends up hitting Kalist in the midst of all those KC members, and the immediate Temper Fate follow-up is perfect for G2.
This is what we were talking about earlier when G2 want to attack in the setup. Rather than just playing that traditional front to back, they catch KC unawares, and most importantly, Yahoo wasn't there. Yahoo was pushing out that top wave. He didn't have his TP available, and so G2 make the call, hey, let's throw the Bard ultimate down, and then early you Galio ult. So just as they come out of the Tempered Fate, then the combo drops, and then there's little places for Busio to go. Nice pick found. They will stop
the men in blue, or black, I guess, in their new kit. To change the name around a little bit as Kalist flashes away. Round warp coming in as well as Camp looks for the chase, but Kalist is able to walk out. Tempered Fate's going to catch onto the Ash, and now it's Kalist on his lonesome because Busio's already done for. G2 find 2 more in the mid lane.
You want to be playing this composition.
And Skewmon did a great job there. After the play, he immediately invaded onto this bottom side to set up both solo laners on that top side. Skewmon and LeBron already littering wards into this top side jungle for KC. And sure, Yahoo's been able to get a tower on the bottom side, but you're still putting pressure in a lot of spots here for G2.
It's KC who will maintain a tower advantage. 3-1 for now. That top lane's going to fall pretty sharpish. Temper Fate going down as Yike comes around the corner and forces LeBron away. Continues to chop down on him with both the main and China Crystal out. Doesn't quite find him, but even through Mikhail's blessing.
So it is very much about the timings for G2, and it might be a right timing for them right now.
Kana's flash is about to come off cooldown, but it won't be there soon enough. Skewmon goes in, they'll lock him against the wall, and now with LeBron chasing around the corner, Caps gets the kill. Great collapse and G2 to top himself back up. KC trying to get in here, but there's a line of snap traps. They're going to stop their advances. 6k on the Baron now as KC try to advance. A small avenue for them to get in. Tempered Fate's going to land. G2 turn their attentions towards the enemy jungle, and Encore goes through, but Skewmon's able to dodge to the side of it. Flash away from Yike, flash away from Broken Blade, but Kalist begins to open up. A hero's entrance becomes only an exit, and he's leaving in a coffin. KC with beautiful team fighting will take the fight and take the Baron alongside. They're a man!
See here in game 1.
You could see what G2 were thinking. It's like, we'll give them this small way through the snap traps, and then we'll Tempered Fate on top of them. but they couldn't take Yike down quickly enough for Subjugate. And
Decision there between finishing the Baron and going for the fight. They went for the fight and it was the wrong choice. Now they look for a pick.
Tempered Fate, Labrov trying to get across the wall here with Caps. Busio there with the encore. Sounds like Caps. Mikhail's away from Labrov. Caps able to walk out. Kana comes in from the side as well. Caps and Labrov will have to walk the long way back around to their tower. Mid lane tier 2 is going to fall. Caps does have the Realm Warp here, and they'll turn their attentions across towards Kana, who doesn't have a flash. Hound's Pursuit in, Equalizer down, Arrow dodge to the side, and Kana will fall to the dogs.
I mean, Cops is in a good spot for the Realm Warp, but Broken Blade is here as well.
Summer's not with them right now. Broken Blade has to flash away from Miasma. Yike steps forward. There's the encore. Only hits onto BB and Equalizer down as well in that small choke point. Broken Blade Justice Punch finds none of it. Skewmon tries to dash away, but it's rooted where he stands. And Kalis will find every arrow in his quiver and put them into the back of the dogs. Caps now trying to stand tall underneath his tier 2, but the Realm Warp's gonna have to get him away. The gaze of Yahoo is petrifying as Hans Summer falls to the Serpent's Fangs. KC finds 3 and now will push for the tier 2 in top.
KC simply run G2 down. They say
We haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen the call of the pack onto the backline with the hero's entrance coming in. Yike is now here though. Caps trying to find a flank position as Broken Blade steps forward, and Chakra is going to go down onto the Galio. Equalizer down as well, but isn't really finding too much of G2. A Temper Fate only lands onto Kana. The Drake is up. Soul is available for KC, and now they'll start it up. Caps forced away towards the top side. KC trying to play in this pocket vision around this bush.
keep watching Yahoo. Look at his positioning here, right on the forefront, zoning the rest of G2 away.
Yeah, he's doing such a good job. Kana in that bush as well, meaning that G2 just can't step in. Skewmon looking for the dash across the back of the pit. Torn out from Broken Blade. Caps is still in mid. G2 have given up the ghost on the Soul. KC will secure it.
I think they're just hoping that Skewmon might have been able to make the steal, but KC are going to push back G2.
Cooldown, the Ashe ultimate coming off cooldown, all these ultis getting ready to go as G2's looking for a fight.
KC have to be sure they don't skip steps as Skewmon goes in. There's a hero's entrance, but Kalis just steps out of the back of it. Charm onto Broken Blade. Kalis begins to open up, and Equalizer in from Kana, who TPs towards the backline. And Yike and Kana are just stopping anyone from G2, saving Broken Blade. KC find another, and now G2 don't have those tools to get in towards the Baron pit.
The Equalizer was a red velvet barrier instead this time, denying the follow-up, but G2 survived.
Chased out by Yahoo. Dark Daggers don't hit. Petrifying Gaze doesn't either, but the Twin Fangs enough to take down the Neferi. G2 were looking for Kana with that Tempered Fate, but they just can't find him. The rest of KC there to back up their top laner.
KC are simply playing the fight better. This comp from G2 is hard to navigate in the 5v5, and KC are taking full advantage of that. Yahoo on the hunt.
Yahoo rocket belts forward, and Caps has no minion wave under the tower to stop the turret's aggression. He flashes the wall and he will escape, but Baron secured.
And afterwards, it's G2 who try to continue afterwards.
Yeah, because we're now at a point in the game where G2 is just forced to answer these objectives that are being started off, and KC are very aware of it. They're welcoming G2 into these fights. KC knows that they have the stronger 5v5, and they are picking G2 apart in every single instance. Caps, the only side of G2 that sits with the gold lead right now, but I don't think it's going to be enough to turn this game around for G2.
He just can't have impact in fights. He can never get towards the backline. Yike and Kana doing such a good job of being those two beefy boys on the front side, which not something you usually say about the Rumble, but he's been protected well by this Seraphine, by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, by the Miasma. G2, again, the Tempered Fate. Needs a little bit more tempering, I'm going to be honest. Labrov has been unable to find that backline the way that he wants. This time, couldn't clip onto Yike. It's a 1-4 split for KC. Yike, Kalist, and Busio up. Just hovering in the jungle, and trying to put Slayer down. Justice Punch out from Broken Blade. He'll use the Rocket Belt to escape any further clutches of KC. But now with the two waves not quite synced up, KC will advance on mid. First couple of plates down. There's the encore onto Caps. Mikhails gets him out of it. But still, the tower almost falling, and G2 just have to back away.
There's nothing that G2 can do. There's too many members from KC there, and they deal way too much damage right now. KC are just marching through the base.
Great patience from KC, and they still have the Baron for another minute, so no need to waste any time. They move towards bot. This wave isn't big. Notice how Yike is keeping...
Oh, I thought he ulted. I thought he ulted. I'm sorry, Benny. I was so sure he got interrupted.
Yeah, Yike was just keeping that pressure in the mid lane. He wants those minions empowered with the Baron.
He did ult! His Hound's Pursuit was interrupted by a Trundle Pillar. That was good. He tried to engage
nice
in mid
spot,
lane.
nice spot.
Oh, that was so nice from Yike. So often we say Skewmond has his number in the big games like this, but across the course of the weekend, Yike has been stepping up, and here we see on the Trundle just stopping any possibility of G2 going in.
Well, they're getting desperate now. They'll fish, and here we go.
Tempered Fate again misses. Like, KC just aren't giving G2 any way to get into a fight, any way to find a skirmish, any way to pick up a man. It is so patient and sublime to watch, I'll be honest. There's the equalizer, and here's the follow-up. Yike and Yahoo pushing in, and Kaza's here to burn the ball! A magical journey leads into the fountain, but as he goes, he takes G2 with him. Caps and Hansama are sitting in the death realm, and all they can do is watch as KC, with an almost perfect performance in terms of patience and team fighting, just absolutely decimate the reigning champs of the LEC. This was a message, and it has been well sent. KC just sweep away G2 in game one.
An impressive performance from KC. Great patience. It looked a little scary. Unraveled Earth. Thank you very much. When you throw that on the ground, there's just an extra thing that G2 has to think about. And with another dash coming through from the Gnar, not a good matchup into the Renekton. And you can see that a little bit more a little bit more pick.
A slight bit and later.
There isn't much the Jarvan can really do here.
Yeah. Look at the top side here. Brookblade in that mini Gnar form. Flashes away with the Predator though with the seismic shot for the follow-up. And KC's Koreans work together to find a great
It's going to be a tough contest. So they will have to give this one away. Unfortunately for Broken Blade, he now finds himself behind in lane, and great news for Yahoo as he gets himself first blood. KC playing with the pressure well, but Skewmon fishing for a fight.
He's going to take the fight here. When becomes lightning, Skewmon dashes in with Audacious Charge, does land the smite now, and Yike is slowed up. Broken Blade with a Gnar into the wall, and even with a Cataclysm, there is no terrain you can build to save your life. Yahoo now can't escape either. A Spirit forward from Caps, dodges to the side of the Aquabus and still lands the charm. Wild growth for the knockup. Caps has another Spirit rush as Kalis tries to get out, does have Flash, uses the barrier too, and will manage to escape Caps' clutches, but with a Flash and a charm, there is no escape from G2's mid laner.
G2 turned the play around. Caps had gone for the reset, just picked up the lost chapter. BB with the last dredges of his Mega Gnar, and maybe more.
Polymorph. Wind becomes lightning, and Boostio becomes Sashimi. Skewmond.
Now, that Sunder Sky completed. It's going to be a tough one.
Yike, Wind becomes lightning. Yike still has the flag, and Dragon will use it to get himself to safety across the wall, but because of it, has to give up the damage that he's done to these grubs. Skewmond will smite one away.
And Skewmon just abandoned the grubs and says, no, Yike, this is my jungle now. The problem for Jarvan is, as a champion, he doesn't have the strongest dueling power. And when you're fighting against a Sundered Sky, Yahoo on the road once again.
For Hansama and LeBron, tidal wave down, seismic shove, still clips the Lulu who tried to flash away. Hansama has to dash
at level 9, but he wants to spend the gold before this fight starts.
TP in from Kana. KC are going for a 5-man play. Caps TP's back into the mid lane. Broken Blade trying to dash onto Yahoo here. The Drake down to 1,000. Kana goes in with the Ruthless Predator. Immediately is charged up. Yahoo forced to flash into the back of the pit. Almost dies to BB. The Drake secured. Kana pays for it with his life. And Caps wants to Spirit Rush for a little bit more. Dodges to the side of the tidal wave. Boostio getting chased down. Another Spirit Rush. Oh, charm almost onto Yike. Skewmon tries to get in when the room becomes lightning, but doesn't clip anyone from KC.
As possible. KC do a good job of getting the Dragon, but they end up losing the fight, and G2 gain more on the map.
I think Caps is trying to predict the flash from Boostio with that charm as well, but now Yahoo overextended.
Yeah, no. I don't think there's any escape. Hansama takes it. Jackson all bad.
Meanwhile, Caps is solo taking that top tower, and it looks like he's going to get it first.
I do think this ins out pick does continue to be a thorn in the KC side, though, because
it does simply scale better with the Mega Gnar utility that Broken Blade is going to provide, and Yunara Lulu just being that late game insurance. We've seen
not too far ahead. Caps now about to clear this bot side tower. Like, you should just continue to play for these objectives. And actually, KC overloading top side means Yunara, I think, gets mid tower.
Yeah, I think it's double towers. It was good vision for Broken Blade. He backs away. While he has Mega, he can stay around for a little while, but as soon as that begins to wear out, he can't. Rift Tower being put down on towards the bot side as Caps looks to take a tier 2 here. Already got a couple of plates out of the top lane tier 2. Rifteld charges in, and this is just more gold in the pockets of Caps. He's going to be 2,000 gold ahead in just a moment.
The lane assignment's quite devastating there for KC. Caps fishing for more. I feel may have overextended here.
Does he just want a Rifteld charge? Does he just want the plate gold? Right, he almost got it. If he charmed Carter a little bit later, he would have got it there.
It was bizarre to me that KC went for this topside play because wait, actually, we're going to go for it again? No, because it was just, there's dragons on bottom side. There was already vision established in their jungle by G2 off of the invade that they had as well. So G2 kind of knew already that that play was going to happen on the top.
Karna really only has armor here as the Spirit Rush comes in from Caps. Dominus pop. Caps low on mana. Spirit Rush is forward. Foxfire needs an auto. Oh, the rocket belts enough. And Caps takes down the Croc.
A nice solo kill from Caps. I didn't think that he would actually have the damage in order to secure that kill, but they get the flash out from Renekton. The TP as well will be used.
Oh,
Yahoo on the hunt.
Weaver's Wall on the wrong side of it. Puts it down, okay. He wanted the Cinder for the extra movement speed. As you say, he's stalling. TP comes in. Scumon's almost here as well. Yahoo looking at that seismic shot, but Caps dodges to the side of it. And even though Caps is low on mana, he has the teammates in support. Yahoo flashes, but the threaded volley doesn't find its mark.
KC come to contest. That is G2's ideal spot as they will look to turn and fight and close out this game.
You can be like Yagami at any portion of your life, Betty. Change things in your 30s if you want, as Caps lands the charm. Only has 9 stacks in that book. And yeah, KC realized they can't really step past the author in the mid lane. And there's Baron for G2.
What KC did before, you have the 4-1. You keep your Ahri in the mid lane. You keep the tank with the team to make it that much harder for KC to engage on.
Skewon really wants Sushi tonight as he jumps onto Busio. Is caught up in the Aqua Prison, but Busio's half HP. Cap still has the Spirit Rush in the mid lane. No flash for him, but has tools at his disposal to escape. And now G2 pushing in. Yahoo with a good unraveled earth will stun Broken Blade in his tracks. Seismic Shot gets the knockback as well as Broken Blade gnaws into nothingness, and Broken Blade falls into the abyss afterwards as Kalist picks up his second kill of the game. A Weaver's Wall forward from Yahoo as he looks to find what he can sew out of this situation. But Caps goes in and Busio will go down. An Orb of Deception from Caps enough. Skewmon flashing forward. The Crescent Guard spells Yahoo's dead. And KC, they had a small sliver of victory in their eyes, and immediately they are shut closed by G2.
Great fate for Broken Blade, I guess, as G2 managed to close that one out. It was dominant though regardless, as G2 pick up the win.
Yeah, usually first Barons don't lead to wins in the LEC, but this one led to a resounding victory for G2. They'll even up these finals 1-1, as both teams have shown exactly what they can bring in these first 2 games.
Sub 23 minutes. Wow. I mean,
base stats.
Yeah.
It's lucky. Whoa, Zahen for Kana. Now that is hype. I mean, Zahen into the Kazante is a slow burner lane. Like early game, you're both kind of just farming. But
the tower.
Yahoo kind of held his own there though nicely, because if he flashed over the wall, it would have been Skewmon who's going to follow, but instead just turning on towards Caps and having Yike move across, hitting the level 6 of the red buff, meant there was a chance to turn around, but here we go.
Yeah, he held his own for as long as he could, but with the flash, Caps reacts, and Skewmon gets a solo to G2.
G2 have put a heavy emphasis on grubs this series. I believe in all 3 games now, they've been the team to secure those grubs. And I think that it's an interesting shift, because it did feel like for a lot of this split that grubs were seen as largely useless. They're
has been able to close that gold gap a little bit as we see the cease and desist going in. A grand entrance as well onto LeBron. The charm landing on Skewmon as well. He's got a Duskbringer his way out with that extra movement speed. Does manage to escape.
Great pick from KC. That should let them dragon off the back of it, as LeBron just wandered around in that river, not having the support as close as he was hoping it would be.
I definitely think that was a mistake from LeBron as well. The way he just walked up to Yike like that, to me, I actually thought that was the clone. I thought that he had just sent a clone in for vision, and he was just maneuvering it around to make it
advance and steal away some of these camps. Skewmon waiting to see perhaps if the Gromp is a possibility. He goes in with Duskbringer. There's the quickness, lightning crash out of Kalista as well as Skewmon. It's just too deep. LeBron goes in, double pop blossom, and Summer begins to open up, but Yahoo's on his way from the mid lane, and G2 have to back away. Kalist has all the time in the world to put that burst lightning through LeBron, who flashes away using the shape splitter for a bit of a block. Caps comes in from the side. Busio able to dance.
Caps doesn't quite share the same wave clear than Nady Carry does.
They do. KC generally have a summoner spell advantage as well as they go in with the cease and desist onto LeBron, one of those summoner spell less G2 members, and it's a great pick from KC. No flash for LeBron. No way out of that one.
I really like the way KC are playing these fights. Like, the main engage tool for G2 is Labrov, sorry. So if you pick him off immediately, there's just not an awful lot of fight left in G2, and that's twice in a row now. KC have focused the support.
I think the positioning of Labrov really needs to be questioned in this series. He is not showing a lot of respect towards Yike, and Yike is very quick to collapse on these mispositions. So
yeah.
G2 will look to cross-map the Dragons. Skumond doing what he can to make the best out of a bad situation. KC will likely look to drop this Herald either in the mid lane to help them secure a little bit more pressure through that side of the map, or maybe through one of these side lanes in order to cross-map. Because right now, G2 have rotated their AD carry towards bots. They've gotten early access to this tower, and that should be first tower of the game going G2's way.
That's why Broken Blade was so aggressively trading with Kana, just to make sure that to get him flows.
Well, I figured if we're both just making stuff up, you know.
He also loves to give him away on his stream.
G2 are making something top here.
And they're looking for a play on towards the top side. Quickness coming out, Pop Blossom as well. There's the Paranoia diving onto the backline behind Summer. The damage has only just arrived. All out from Broken Blade will find one. An answering kill onto Labrov. A 2-for-1 exchange for KC so far, and
But
look at
it's
mid, look at bot.
Yeah, it's 3 people top. You're pushing mid, you're pushing bot. It's a massive play for KC as they turn it around against G2.
They stop the dive, they win out on the skirmish, and KC will get more gold elsewhere on the map. Remember that KC happy to scale, happy to take their time in this game. So if Kalista's have to free farm, best case scenario.
Lucio's getting so much value out of these charms, because you see here, Yike immediately engages the follow-up with the charm, but as Labrov goes in, he gets charmed. As Skumon goes in, he gets hit by the charm as well, which actually...
The scaling build, I don't love Rocket Belt first on the Victor, but still, Victor is a champion that scales really nicely with levels, thanks to how his passive does work. And that's going to be another tower secured, so KC looking very good. G2 yet to find that. Well, they pushed bot lane very deep. They then committed 2 members top to start pressuring that tower. They completely abandoned the Dragon, not
engage anything.
I'll say the last 3 ults, I think, from Skumond have been disengage ults.
Oh, Caps looks for Kalist, weirding. He's gone forward. He's looking for between worlds. Gets onto Kalist, but Kalist with the crash down. Caps forced to flash away, exhausted, and taken out of the play.
The barrier, the flash, the shield from Bucio, everything used to keep the AD carry up, and KC step away.
Wow, an ambitious play there from Caps. He was going into the Wolf's Den, and he should have
Bucio, this was kind of it, man. Yike needs to be a lot closer if you're going to go for a play like this. Has to use the quickness. Labrov, Rocket Belt not in range of Bucio, who flashes away. Bucio ratting for vision a little bit there, but if you're going to go that deep on Rakan, you do need teammates to dance back to.
He does get the vision, which immediately gets cleared out, and then he loses his flash. So ultimately a big losing play there for Bucio as the 2 top laners continue to battle back and forth.
Who's on his way.
Broken Blade hard winning
has
this.
The cultivation of war. He has that passive. Will be brought back up, but with a TP in. Gravity field down. Caps looking for the chase. Karnot loses the passive. Won't be revived as Caps misses the 2-fold hex, but the winning finds him. Karnot was
very expensive piece. A lot of a Build-A-Bear coming through from Yahoo right now.
I was about to say Kalista's my focus as he goes in.
Yeah.
Caps tried to go in with the weirding. They'll jump onto Kalista, and without the flash, there's no escape for him. Between worlds goes, Caps can't escape. Labrov dies as he's charmed up by Bucio, and now G2 outnumbered in the fight. But Hansama begins to open up a TP in from Kana to try and turn the tables in KC's favor, but he's interrupted by Broken Blade on the top side. Skumon on the wrong side of this wall, and Hansama unable to help him. He will fall. KC take 3 and only lose 2. But Don's instead getting another needlessly large rod and using one of the 2 he had in his inventory to complete it up. Skumon. Ooh, blast going out from Yike there. Did smite early, but right now. Labrov looking for a flank position. Bucio trying to do the same. Yike trying to get into the back of the pit. Labrov's going to mark him now as the Baron's down to 3k. Pop Blossom. They'll jump onto Yike. Cease and desist out with the collapse now coming in from KC. Kalist can't really join the fight yet, but Yahoo can, and that Arcane Storm is tempestuous for G2. KC will find 3. The recall's coming out from BB. Bucio chasing him down. Caps trying to get out as well. Won't manage to escape.
Immediate TP to bot lane for Yahoo as well. Wants to try and knock down that tier 2. But for G2, I mean, they managed to get at least a few out. But they're not exactly the 3 members down that they would have liked to be off that lane.
Caps is coming down towards the bottom side. Yahoo does have flash and has that Zhonya's. Caps almost has the ultimate backup. 10 seconds on it. The weirding there for the slow on Yahoo. Yike in from the side as well, and Kalist is here, dashing across the wall with the Spark Surge, double stun coming out, as Broken Blade now needs to get himself out of this situation between Worlds goes Caps, dashes back in! And dies for it. You can see on his face a look of dismay, because he knows he may have just cost his team the game.
Yeah, who's been playing with so much
Get all of those pieces in the right places in the jigsaw.
Absolutely, but also I just think a ton of credit needs to go to Yike for simply... I have to wonder if it's because he's played with G2 for so long, when he recognizes, oh, this guy is too cocky.
Yeah.
You know, he's playing way too far up. He's not allowed to do this.
CP.
But we're gearing up for a fight
Yike
here.
looking to the flank here. LeBron goes in with a pop loss and paranoia onto the backline as well as they try and dive onto Kalist. But with the quickness, you just can't get onto him enough. Broken Blade chases Yehu down towards the bottom side. Flash in from Caps, trying to kill off this AD carry who flashes away himself and does get taken out in the end. But a cease and desist notice is sent to Caps by Yike. He knows his home address. And because of that, KC win out on the fight again.
It's a 2-for-1 as Yehu getting chased down by Broken Blade. The kiting is good from Yehu.
Gravity field down. Pathmaker around from Broken Blade, but with Kana and Busio on the way across, Yehu just has to survive for another second, and in the end, that blade will be broken. Yehu now dominating.
This can do a lot of heavy lifting for Kalist in this as KC want to go.
Busio ghosting forward, paranoia being used. They'll jump onto Kana to start things off, but there's the quickness out of Busio. Tries to get onto the backline, Grim Deliverance in by Kana as well, and the quickness still finds Hans Summer. Kalist begins to open up, back to front for KC, a double ready for the Petit Ponce, and he wants to make it more. There's the triple. The quadra stolen by Busio, but Yike and Kalist are leaving no man standing. Skumon forced away. Kalist will decide that perhaps the Nexus is a better prize than Skumon's life as KC march down mid.
A clean team fight from KC as they look to put the final nail in the coffin. This game is done and dusted as KC set their sights on match point.
A shellacking from KC here. G2 threw everything they could, including the kitchen sink at Kalist. But the Petit Ponce stood tall, and there was nothing G2 could do about it. One game away from being the first seed for MSI, one game away from their second LEC title.
G2 through the kitchen sink at KC.
Could be something like the Sion as well. Sion with On the Hunt, a Pantheon there to follow up, charging over. I mean, maybe Malphite would have been better in terms of the snap engage you can get from it, and we have seen it from G2 already against MCoy.
I think Malphite's a must. I believe he is 13-0 when playing any other team. He's 0-2 when he plays G2.
Wow, okay.
Oh, Busio, hang on, very low. Ignite goes down to Don Sanders. Busio has to step away.
Kalist trying to step forward, flash away from Hans Sullivan. The fourth shot from the Jhin finds enough to take the kill. It's about to praise Hans Summer on this Civet. Looks like he's going to reset. The ward will come in. Oh, in fact, like doesn't. Well, it does have the ward, doesn't put it down. Busio shadowing strike there for the CC. No way out for him, really. No dredge line possibility. Skumon stays around a little bit longer. Manages to secure the kill.
I think,
which is why Skumon could stay around, but not the best from Busio. He evens out the score down towards that bottom side. Now with the TP in, Yehu tries to flash away. Shadowing strike there for the CC. Busio comes in with a Hex Splash, and Yehu teleports in and loses half his health immediately. Skumon stacking up his passive. Does have the flash. Yehu no longer has that summoner. Flash forward with the mount up. They'll go for Yehu. The CC chain on him. Not enough. Shifting Sand Shield will not save him. A 1-for-1 the exchange. Support or combat between Busio and you can't even press a button.
Behind about 300 gold in the isolated matchup. Definitely can still bounce back in this matchup, but he has to go for that early magic resistance to help mitigate. But here comes Yike to help him out.
Caps being cocky again with his stepping forward. Ishtar's impact coming out from Yike. Looks for the CC. Can't quite land it. Caps starts to ward away. Grand Starfall trying to trade onto Yehu, and they'll do exactly that. Yike, not yet level 6, doesn't have the impale
series, but when you give him these champions to have that type of agency, he will find a way to have impact, and we may very well see it right now as he's
comes across, splashes over the wall as well as he brings down the hammer on Caps and finds the kill. Ishtar's impact there for the chase follow-up. Impale lands onto Skumon as well. LeBron here to try and save his jungler, and he does exactly that with the heal. Keeps him alive just in time. LeBron may have sacrificed his own life for it. With Broken Blade TPing up here as well, it looks unlikely that G2 will fully contest. Skumon is going to blast Cone in, spotted on Vision now. Reaction from Busio from the mid lane as he starts to walk across. It will be a 2-for-1 exchange as the Brob comes in as well. Unstoppable onslaught from Broken Blade as he tries to join the play. They'll jump on a Busio. Decimating smash there for the knock of Kana trying to come in from the top side. Jumps onto Caps immediately and gets the kill. Shield bolt onto Kana. Now in the midst of 3 members of G2 and KC have lost 1. Good double impale, but I don't think they have the damage because Yahoo's sitting on components. Yike's gonna fall as well as Yahoo has to flash away. It's a triple for Skumond. He's got 6 to his name.
Skumond stands strong like the Spartans of old, as in the face of KC, he just takes the fight. Kill after kill, recognizing that without Kana, they just don't have the damage, and the fight simply goes their way. Now Caps returns.
There's the stun. Skumond gets in range for the shield bot with the Aegis Assault movement speed, and he's scooped back, but he's still... Kana, much more vulnerable than he was a little while ago before this Pantheon got such a sizable advantage. There's the Dragon. The G2 fans begin to find
See
it.
here,
Yeah,
he just wants to clear out the wave so he can go back to base.
I think it was an if it hits, it hits, and if not, I'm going for the minion wave. But Yike, realizing that Broken Blade is a little bit deeper than he would like to be, goes in with the Ishtal's impact, gets the CC against the wall, decimating smash. Kana dodges to the side of it. Not the entire chasm contained there by Broken Blade, and you got the proxy.
I mean, it's going to be a good death.
Is he going to get this?
He gets his wave as well,
the next wave as well.
To pick off Yahoo, though. He's got very far forward.
Doesn't have the
to
flash
die.
right now. Yeah, Caps goes in. Disintegrate for the stun, Incinerate for the follow-up. LeBron is here. Goes full tilt, just hits the minion and walks away. We often see that when the Rel is looking for the engage. There's a bit of vision here for KC as Yike will step into it. The control wall down, Shattering Strike coming in as well. There's the impale. Skumond jumps across the wall afterwards, but it's going to be a 3v2 in KC's favor in just a moment, and Skumond's already down to half HP. Death charge onto LeBron. He'll dash across the wall, but Skumond's falling lower. Good deadly flourish, and the curtains open. They'll go for LeBron instead of Skew, but Yahoo wants to take them too. Yahoo goes in. The Emperor's Divide back Caps, and Han Summer will kill him off in the end. LeBron has paid for this aggression with his life.
And Skumond by throwing the depth charge onto Lebrov instead of onto Skumond, so Skumond gets away. Then Yahoo tries to sell the play afterwards and ends up getting caught. Now it seems they've overdone it again.
As Ishtal's impact comes out, but there's the shield bot follow-up, and Yike is just too deep. He's already in the Tribush. There's a Battle Herald, but that Herald doesn't need to see any sign of war. The charge will now come in from Caps as Yike is already on the floor. Kana gets a knockback onto Broken Blade, but there's the knockup from Caps with the Ripped Herald. Skumond start falling into the backline as Kana's shortly falling afterwards. Knocked up and taken out by Caps, and Busio will follow suit sharpish. G2 just collapse on KC.
Continue to wave clear. Hands down in a lot of trouble.
Spell Shield did block the dredge line, but you can't block both. As Kalist gets the shutdown. Nice positioning there from Busio and Yike to find a way behind Han Summer. Get a second kill for Kalist. Still behind in gold, but trying to eke back some advantage where they can.
Did we open up this mid lane tower? Oh no, here comes Caps. He's here with the wave clear.
Yeah, I kind of think KC should get one of them, though. You've got the push for Zero on bot and mid, but kind of left top lane, thinking he needed to go cover mid. So maybe now should be able to get the top lane turned off the back of it there.
There's no TP, really, that G2 can easily use. Like, Caps could TP up there, but it's pretty risky.
Yeah, it was always just a question of how much crystalline gems.
Overgrowth,
yeah, overgrowth were there.
Caps on the chase, Modern Shield. Trying to get that extra movement speed. LeBron getting in behind as well, as Kana does still have flash. A 2v1, a possibility. Jumps in, there's the Tibbers crash down as well. Caps waiting for the cooldown. It's a good Magnet Storm will pull Kana back. And 2v1A. Yes, he has done a great job, but LeBron has been there so often, finding these stuns, finding these knockups, and there's another one to follow up onto Yike. Busio goes in with the dredge line and the depth charge, and Impale only landing onto Skumond. Yike getting chased out by his enemy jungler, and the rest of G2 trying to collapse around the side. Another Shattering Strike across the wall. The Emperor's Divide just divides some space, but it buys nothing at all. We've got no Odomus up here for KC, but Yahoo's trying to put some soldiers into the mix-up. Kana TP's in, has that shield from the teleport. 4,000 on the Baron, a good shot blast onto the backline. And Skumond and Han Summer fall low. Kalist goes in with the full shot, but can't find it. LeBron with the Magnet Storm cleanse away from Kalist. G2 wants to retreat, and Broken Blade's going to be forfeit for it. Kalist on a killing spree, but G2 get out with the bounce.
G2 will be more than close enough. Now, Kana, the target.
And Skumond goes in with the Grand Starfall. Aegis Assault for the movement speed as well, and there's the shield walk for the chase. There was a TP in by Caps as well, down to the bottom Tribush. Kana thinks he's out, but Caps has other ideas. Han Summer gifted the kill to try and close that gold gap to Kalist, and Skumond will go in and steal away some.
Kalist here Unfortunately, so G2 going to keep this pressure up. They get the mid lane tower. The TP coming through from Broken Blade. Looks like they might be fishing for a bit more.
With the tier 2 down towards this bottom side. Oh, flash forward from Busio, flash away from Caps. Reacts in time, did have the rocket belt, decided flash the better form of valor as he goes in with the Emperor's Divide. Yahoo gonna get stunned up underneath the tower. LeBron tanking it. Now it goes over to Skumon, and a couple of shots will be enough to take him down. Hans Summer on the back line forces Yahoo down. Caps will die. Yike loses the defenses of his tower and loses his life alongside it.
2, 4, and 12 in this game. Assist Annie is clearly the best form of Annie, as the third dragon of the game won, and they get the better of G2. But G2 is a lot more about the early game. If they can build that lead and ride that wave, they simply dominate their opposition. Now, Casey's looking to fight back.
Who goes on to Skumon, Emperor's Divide, gets him back. He does have a Guardian Angel, but there are 3 demons surrounding him right now. Kana goes in, there's the GA on Skumon. Busio trying to get in with those staggering blows, but with an unstoppable also into a decimating smash! Oh, Broken Blade yelling timber as KC are getting felled. Yike forced away. And on towards the top side, Kana's taken out by Caps. Kalis chased out by Lebrov. A crash down just as the blue wall comes crashing around him. Kalis taken out. Yike, the last man.
Another plate will be secured. G2 with a massive gold lead are looking to bring us to game 5. They can wait for Soul. Baron will likely be their next big objective as Broken Blade in a lot of trouble.
Trying to go for BB, who flashes across the wall. Caps looking for that stun. Busio goes in with the Dredge Line, the Magnet Storm landing on towards the backline. Skumon stunned against the wall, impaled as well, but Skumon is not the only threat. Sku needs one more kill to tie the most kills ever from a Pantheon in the LEC. He and Jankos hold that record, and he wants it on Yike. I mean, Yike, you've gone the wrong way. Oracles will spot you out. Skumon 2 levels up on his enemy jungler, and the Scorpion Sting has no venom. Lebrov here to help out. Yike's gonna heal up with a Protoplasm Harness, but he's only delaying the inevitable. Well, and sometimes you go fishing and you bring up an old shoe, sometimes you get a fish, sometimes you get a monstrous fire bear. It happens.
That was cool. That was a very cool play. Here in the spring finals of 2026, we're going to game 5.
I don't think Busio gets away from this.
I don't think he escapes either. Unfortunately, though, Skumon isn't here to get his 13th kill.
But they're TPing in onto this.
They're TPing to try and collapse onto Skumon and Lebrov as Busio is forced away. Protoplasm heals him up. He's going to start tanking a tower in a second. Lebrov is low. Magnet Storm doing quite a lot of work as Skumon doesn't have that Guardian Angel, but with Ishtar's impact coming in, he's able to flash across the wall and Broken Blade stops Yike from charging further forward. With that unstoppable onslaught, Skumon will be able to reset and Starfall back in, although he's going to get hit with a bouncing grenade just as he recalls.
Very lucky, because 10 seconds until the Dragon. This will be sold for G2, but in fact, it's KC now who are set up in the area.
The 10,000 gold lead for G2. Everywhere they look, they're scraping silver off the floor as Broken Blade falls low and is going to be put into zombie form. Kalis tries to flash away, but Hans Summer flashes and won't let him escape. Who dies with the bouncing blades as Skumon comes in for the cleanup. It's a double for Hans Summer. And try as they might, KC can't control G2.
I mean, that really was a best case scenario for KC, but it simply isn't enough. They are too far behind. Only Busio is left standing, and G2 will forego the Dragon in favor of the Nexus.
They just want to try and end the game. Busio, try as he might, cannot clear out these barred up minions. And they're just going to start to push in towards the Nexus.
Wintip is there to tank as well.
Skumon needs one more. He needs one more.
Skumon needs one more to be the LEC leader. A Caps takes it away. There's one goat here, and his name starts with C. We're going to all 5. What other way to round out spring here in the LEC?
Smiles on the faces of...
I don't think Nidley can go jungle with no pushing lanes really to play off of. You're in a really bad spot if it comes to that. You can kind of play off bot, but it's not ideal. So I think it has to be Aatrox jungle, Poppy boss, Nidalee top to try and get the push. And then the Kled, I think, is to try and answer into, hey, maybe you can try and run people
Being
down.
able to fight around this Scuttlecraft.
You've got stacks on Narcissus, you've got stacks on Hans Summer, Senna, yeah, Hans Summer. I believe there's a famous song about stacks on stacks or something.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them. Hans Summer flashes, looking for the trader onto Kalis, needs to walk away from the piercing arrow.
Busio doing a good job, acting as bodyguard, going to protect his AD carry to help him get back to base.
Scumon's here though, look at this wither. Now you're
flash.
slow. Any gates open? I believe not as LeBron flashes forward. The gates have been held. No, Bucio. There's another wither. Yeah, he's pretty slow now. Siphoning strike, get the stacks, wait for the shield. Stacks, stacks.
Okay, so it's 1-to-1. An additional 12% life
Yeah,
steal.
a seven word passive.
Yeah, that's what passives were back in season 1. So,
Shaco has a dark and mysterious past.
Yeah.
You know, that was our old school lore, guys.
Yes.
I did think you were about to say that he was known as Susan for this, but
He was
I mean,
also
I
known
still
as Susan
do
for a
call
while.
him Susan,
Yeah.
yes. Largely because if you spell Narcissus backwards, it does in fact spell out the word Susan. Now,
KC got a Drake.
yes, they did.
Yep.
And now we get a
Lucio's
flash.
going to flash in onto LeBron here. LeBron going in with the trample, gets the pulverize, but it's just going to get taken down for it. Bucio aggressive on this. LeBron has a TP from the Unsealed Spellbook, so he can go down towards the bottom side if needed. Broken Blade's going to remount here. We'll look for the bear trap on a rope. Pull Kana back. It's a cat that he's caught, not a bear. Tries to flash away. LeBron still chasing. Charging forward now. Broken Blade underneath the tower. Will tank it, and Hunt Summer from downtown claims the kill. Bucio on his way across though, and Broken Blade's just been dismounted from Skull. Yike trying to join in the party as the box still only level 3 on this cow. Yike comes in with the Darkin Blade, looks for the pull back Infernal, chains the steadfast presence as well, means that LeBron cannot escape, and Yike on the wings of a world ender will secure the kill. Bucio goes in for another and won't find too much more.
yeah, I'm kind of surprised.
The flash comes through from Kana, but with the ultimate available and the reset ready. But meanwhile, at live, Casey's threatening a dive.
And going in, Bucio there as well. Steadfast was flashed away from, but there's the knockback with the heroic charge. Skull! The remount of Broken Blade just in time. Will be able to walk out, but importantly, he's going to lose some minions to the tower. Scumon coming across is going to make sure that Kled can stay around.
Really well played by Broken Blade, flashing in to get the auto on Kana. Now Kana
Kana
will
has
have
no
to get out of
flash.
here.
Scumon just needs to get in range for the Wither. Bucio going to stay around. Hex flash onto Caps. In fact, he goes instead for Scumon, but there's the Wither. And I'm afraid, Bucio, there's no way out of this one. Siphoning strike again from Scumon will be enough. I think he just used an auto in the end instead.
I think that might have been a bit of a misclick there from Bucio onto Scumon rather than onto Caps, because that was the target I thought he was going to go for, especially as it would still let him get towards the tower and escape, but not to be in this case.
What is this game? It
Game
is
5 of Fearless, baby.
Is so chaotic as Lebrov and Bucio are just perma-roaming. Lebrov now gets level 4, Bucio ahead of him, level 5. They are doing everything in their power to try and find plays for their team. Meanwhile, in the bot lane 1 versus 1, Kalista holds a 20 CS lead. In the mid lane matchup, Yehu, because of the roam from Anivia, from Caps' Anivia, has actually been able to equalize.
Covering some of these plays, and second Dragon, not a bad spot to be in for KC.
What a weird 10th title here. KC off to a very solid start in Game 5 as Callistas get rooted up with the last embrace. Scumon trying to chase Yike out. A Wither will slow down that Aatrox. LeBron coming in as well, pops the trample, looking for the CC to start things off. Charge as well from the Kled as he comes behind. Enemy lines onto Yike. Bucio almost falls to the Dawning Shadow. Another auto needed. Scumon gets him with the Spirit Fire. Now the retreat from G2 as Broken Blade is a little bit too deep for the dive onto Yahoo. Locking up with the last embrace and his last breath. So difficult to deal with.
It's such a short
Up to
cooldown.
a 95% slow.
Oh, yeah, he's gone for the steal.
Yike goes in for the steal, but Scumon secures it, and now Yike needs that Herald to get out. Punted over the wall, by the way. Tower dudes. Like, look at him, it's like that, man.
Hey, it got there.
was a
I like the scenic route. You know?
There's a detour, roadworks in the mid lane, apparently.
Great idea from Yike, though. He knows that the gamble on the steal is not really that risky, but it just gets completely denied by Lebrov and Caps. Now, Broken Blade, he shouldn't die here. The Nidalee, I don't think, has much kill threat. Broken Blade insisting on the fight continuing.
When Scumon's on his way across.
Here comes the Kane.
Hands flash.
Wither.
There's the Wither. Oh, poor Cat. There's no escape from this. The Huntress has become the hunted, and Scumon is 5.
Bucio, like one big keeper's verdict, could maybe try and turn a play opening up for Kalist, but it's very hard when G2 are collapsing.
Here comes the dog.
A charge again onto Bucio. Steadfast presence into the cleanse to try and get away, but he's punted back, and his life is going to be siphoned away. 537 stacks on Nasus at 19.5 minutes here. Good thing for KC is they do have pressure in the mid lane. That's pushed in. Top side as well. Kana will take a tower. But Broken Blade is diving tier 2s on the bot side. As there's another turret going in to G2's name.
I really would love to know on the G2 side who came up with the Nasus pick. Was it a call from Skumon? Was it prep from the coaching staff? Because this pick has simply worked wonders for G2. Now it's Yike that's called.
Last embrace into the knockback. A keeper's verdict finds no one guilty. More stacks for the stat god. And more blood for the blood god as Busio's caught out under his tower. LeBron walks past him just to punt him back. Broken Blade diving onto the backline, and Kalist, the last carry available for KC, is forced to flash away.
Things are rapidly falling apart for KC. Kill after kill. Skumon goes to 8-0-0, and with the jungler down, that will be a 20-minute Baron. G2 looking to continue their winning ways as they put themselves in commanding position in the final game of spring.
If you ever ask me, G2 versus KC, 5-game series, how did Skumon carry the last 2 games? Pantheon would be
alive. Kalist has to flash away from Broken Blade, deep diving past the towers. And the smiles on the faces of the coaching staff, they know that this is their game to lose. This is their final to lose.
Yeah, you can see it there. It's over. Being said by Rodrigo as G2 step up on towards this top side. I mean, what the hell are you supposed to do? Like, these towers are melting. The Baron is there. They're trying to make a play on towards the bottom side, but how? G2 could just keep going here.
Yeah, I think Yehu's just looking for a little bit of gold. Busio looking for a flank position. He's put down a control ward. G2 begin to back away. Broken Blade can stand there for a little bit longer. Still has that charge. Busio can't find an avenue in. Caps will catch Yehu blind in the bush. Knew he was in the vicinity, and there's the chase. Yehu goes in. Caps has a level advantage. Well, Flash Frost will stop Yehu in his tracks. Perfect execution does get the egg, but after that, the rest of your team are scrambling to try and defend. Dawning shadows across KC.
I mean, this is what I meant by one of the weaknesses of Akali into Anivia.
Here's the charge.
You find that pick, but like that pick can end up being your own undoing. Yehu trying to navigate his way to safety.
I don't think there is a place. I don't think it exists for him.
The Glacial Storm, Lebrov in with the trample as well. Yehu dashing across the wall. And we'll tank one tower shot. He's delaying, but Nasus is doing here. Drake while this is happening. Yike is here, you're right, Betty. And Yike is now leaving because he realizes maybe I can save my mid laner. He did get the slow with the Infernal Chains. Yehu will get a blast cone out.
The TP.
There's the TP as well. LeBron doesn't have flash, can't flash across the wall. And now Yike's dead to the last embrace there. Pulls him back. The charge in from Broken Blade a little bit deep. And now Kalist begins to open up. Broken Blade has to flash away.
Skumond.
Skumond is ready to close some gates. He is knocked away by the keeper's verdict. Flash Frost onto Busio. And Summer hits the last embrace as well. LeBron healed up with a protoplasm harness as Kana is the next on the menu. But Yehu's back, baby! Who let him out? Yehu did! Perfect execution. Back up in 2 seconds time. Skumon with the wither onto Kana. But Yehu's diving in. Busio gets the shutdown as KC come back to life. It's all on the big dogs now. And Skumon's bite is much worse than his bark. Yehu comes back in to try and save his cat, but I'm afraid that cat is done for. A charge in from Broken Blade, a double for the Kled as the big dogs shoot. Yes, true, true. Lebrov chunked out, Skumond almost at 750 stacks. And for KC, you're left wondering, the cook has gone wrong, but can we find a way to salvage it? Is there a way back into this as the TP now used by Caps away from Yehu and from Yike? This will be a tier 2 in the mid lane for G2. Baron up in a minute's 20.
I mean, there's a reason that G2 has 18 titles to their name. They get in positions like this, they don't tend to drop it. And KC, they need to find some sort of miracle to do so.
Yike trying to get away from the last embrace, but Skumon just brings down the cane. The first inhibitor tower in the mid lane, the only inhibitor tower in the mid lane is down. Broken Blade and LeBron stepping deep here as the rest of the team were knocked back. Dawning Shadow for the shield. G2 still pretty healthy if they want to continue to push in. Broken Blade with the TP. G2 have reached all the way back into the history books to pull out this Nasus jungle. So many stories have been written about them across the years. as they look for these Nexus towers. KC trying to defend, but Skumon with the fury of the stands will take down the Nexus towers. The Nexus, the next target in the saga of the LEC. G2 are the living definition of a myth. Once again, their story is set, and they are the champions.
What a way to close out this final. To bring out the Nasus in Game 5 and for Skumon to go 12-0-3. What a monster performance from Skumon. G2 claim another title as another 5-game banger against what will now be their longtime rivals of KC.
Broken Blade now ties Mickey for the second most titles of all time as we go over towards the trophy.
It's time for the trophy ceremony presented by Kia. G2 are your spring split champions!